Hello everyone and welcome to the recorded training session for the employees of the Kronos Timekeeper system. So we're going to be going over the Kronos Timekeeper system that is going live in November. So if you are a temporary employee, you will start entering your time in this system on October 29th. If you are a 7th troopers, CBI agents, non-exempt firefighters, you guys are going to start entering your time worked in the system on November 14th, and everyone else is going to start entering their time worked on November 1st. Okay, now that is when everyone is going to start recording time worked. Everyone is going to start entering time off requests starting November 1st. Okay. So just an overview of the system very quickly before I log in. The Kronos Timekeeper system is going to help us track your time worked, including overtime. It's also going to allow us to track your time off requests and leave that's been approved and taken. And it's also going to provide you and your supervisor with real-time leave accrual balances. So you'll be able to log into the system at any time and see how much leave you have currently. One thing we won't be doing in this system is recording mileage. So if you are an employee who records mileage, however you're doing that currently, you will continue to do it the exact same way. Mileage is not going to be recorded through the Kronos Timekeeper system. Okay, so this is the login screen for the Kronos Timekeeper system. A few things I want to point out about this login screen before I log in. The URL that I'm currently using is for the training site only, so please do not use this URL to try to log in because you won't be able to. As we get closer to the go live date, we will provide you with a live URL to log in with, and along with first time login instructions. So I'm going to go ahead and log in as Henry Adams today. So notice I'm logging in with my username H Adams. You guys are actually going to log in with your 997 number. So if you don't know what your 997 number is, you can ask your supervisor or you can ask HR and we'll be able to provide that for you. The other thing I want to point out about the login screen is the forgot your password link. So if you ever forget your password, you can click on this link and answer some security questions and you'll be able to update your password that way and log in to record all of your information. So I'm just going to log into the site, and while I'm logging in, a few things I do want to mention while it is uploading. So best practice is to log out of the Timekeeper site if you are not using it. However, if you are logged in and there is a period of inactivity of over 30 minutes, the system will automatically log you out. So just be aware of that. The other thing I want to mention about this site is that you do not have to be logged into a state computer or connected to the network in order to access this site. You can log in from your personal laptop or tablet or phone. That is perfectly fine. You'll be able to log in anywhere and record your time and record your time off requests. However, if you do try to try to log into the Kronos Timekeeper site through your phone, please do not use an app. Please log into the URL. The Kronos company does have several apps available out there for their various timekeeping products, but none of them are going to work for you. So please just make sure that if you do log into the site, log in using the URL from your phone. Okay, so I have logged into the site and this is basically what it looks like. So in this training session, I am actually going to go over navigation of the site. I'm going to go over how to use the different widgets, and I'll show you what widgets are here in just a minute. And I am also going to go over how to submit your time off requests. Now, for recording time, we are uploading more recorded training sessions regarding how to record your time. Depending on the type of employee you are, you may be recording your time differently. So we do have separate recorded training sessions to show you how to record your time depending on the type of employee you are. So please check those out. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go over navigation of the site. Over here you see we are logged in as Henry Adams, and right below that we have the sign out link. So if we click on that, we sign out. Down here in this tab is the My Workspace area. That's these three windows right here. Okay, so we have the My Time Card window, we have the My Timestamp window, and we have the My Calendar window. Okay, so right now I'm working in the My Time Card window. If I want to make that window bigger, I can click on this maximize icon. It looks like two boxes. If I click on that, it will make the time card window bigger. And then the minimize icon, or excuse me, the restore down icon, I can click on that and put it back down to where it was. Now if I don't want to work in the My Time Card window anymore, I can go to the My Timestamp and click on this gear icon, and then I can click on pop out. And as you see, the My Timestamp is now in the main area for me to work on. I can do the same thing with the My Calendar. I click on the gear and I click on pop out, and I've popped out the My Calendar and can work in the My Calendar window. Okay. Then over here in the My Workspace tab, I have the refresh icon right here. If I click on that, it's going to put everything back to where it was when I first logged in. So if I'm doing a lot of work in the My Workspace area and I've kind of confused myself and want to go back to where it was, I can click on the refresh icon and put everything back the way it was. Please also notice there is a refresh icon in the My Time Card. If I click on this refresh icon, it's just going to refresh the time card itself. So that's the difference between the two refresh icons. Now over here, this blue pane over here is called the related items pane. It's the blue pane to the right with the globe icon with the 3 stars. And down here, the My Leave Requests, the My Inbox, My Audits, those things are called widgets. And they do different things, and I'll show you what those do a little bit later in the training session. This arrow right here, if I click on it, it just makes the related items pane smaller. I can still click on the different widgets if I want to, but it just makes it smaller so that you can have more room to work in the My Time Card or in the My Workspace area. So that is the basic navigation of the Kronos Timekeeper site. What I want to do now is go over how to submit time off requests, and we are going to do that in the My Calendar window. So I'm going to go ahead and pop out this window by clicking on the gear icon and clicking on pop out. And I'm in the My Calendar. Now this button right here is the request time off button. This is the button I am going to click to submit a time off request. Okay. So as you can see here, I can submit a time off request. I can pick the start and end date, and I can pick the type of leave that I want to use. Okay, so let's say I want to use sick leave for this day. And let's say that I want to, I can do the full day and I can just leave it like that. Or if I want to do a partial day, I can click on hours and I can put in my start time and the length. So for my start time, I'm going to put in 7 a.m. So I'm going to put the number 7 and the letter A, and I'm going to tab over. So notice how the system, I just put in the number 7 and the letter A, and the system automatically knew I meant 7 a.m. The system is very intuitive in that way. You could have put it in as 0700. You can put it as 7 a.m. with or without the colon. Doesn't really matter. The system is going to know that what you mean by 7A. So let's say I want to start at 7 a.m. and I only want to use 4 hours of sick leave. So I'm just going to put in 4, and then I can click submit. And as you can see right here, I have a time off request note in my calendar. And that time off request is going to stay there until my supervisor approves it. And I'll show you here in a few minutes how to see if your supervisor has approved your time off request. But before I go on to that, I do want to show you a few more things in the time off request window. So over here, you can see to the right, Henry Adams's different leave balances as of October 21st, 2016. Okay, so if you're ever curious about how much leave you have available for use on a particular day, you can just log into the site and act like you're going to submit a time off request, and your balances are there for you. You can also project leave in this way. If you click on this calendar icon right here, let's say I want to take some leave for Christmas and I want to start on December 23rd. Notice how the annual leave changed, because it is projecting how much leave I'm going to have available for use as of December 23rd, 2016. Another thing we need, I just want to go over real quick, is the holiday leave. So, on the next available holiday, 8 hours of holiday leave will drop into your holiday leave balance. Right now it's projecting how much holiday leave I'm going to have available as of December 23rd, 2016. Okay? Now, you will have to submit time off requests for holidays. So let's say, for example, that I worked, or I'm not going to work the Columbus Day holiday. I have to actually wait until the Columbus Day holiday to submit a time off request for 8 hours for that holiday, because the 8 hours will not drop into my balance until the Columbus Day holiday. Okay. Now, if I actually work on the Columbus Day holiday, those 8 hours are going to stay in my balance until I use them. So those leave hours will accrue and keep accruing until I actually use them. Now, CDPS policy does state that you have to use your holiday hours within the same fiscal year as the holiday. So that means by the end of the fiscal year, which is June 30th, if Henry Adams still has 32 hours of holiday leave in his bank, those hours are going to be paid out to him. And as of July 1st, he will have a zero balance in here for his holiday leave, because the hours are going to get paid out to him. Okay? The other thing I want to mention about holiday leave is that some of our employees work a 10-hour day, but you only get 8 hours of holiday leave. So those other 2 hours need to be made up for. You can do that by submitting another time off request to substitute those 2 hours for annual leave or something like that. You can also work the 2 hours later in your work period, as long as your supervisor approves it. Just make sure that you record those 2 hours worked in your time card. And again, those are going to be separate recorded training sessions on how to record your time, so be sure to watch those so that you know how to record that correctly. Okay, so that's what I want to show you about the time off request. A few other things in the calendar that I just want to show you. So we can look at the calendar, we can look at the current pay period, we can also look at previous pay period, week to date, or any of these different options down here. The other thing we can look at in the calendar is, if I click on this calendar icon, I can look at a specific period by putting in the start date and the end date, and then clicking OK. Okay. And these are also different views in the calendar website, so I can switch to the day view. Right now I'm on the week view, or I can switch to the month view. So I'll click on the month view here so you can see what it looks like. There's my time off request I made earlier. And I can switch back and forth between months by clicking on these arrows right here. I'm going to go back to the week and show you. So I can navigate this way. This is the visibility filter right here. So if I did not want to see my time off requests, I could uncheck this box, and then the time off request I had here is now gone. And if I want it back again, I can just click on that box, and there it is. So this time off request, it's going to stay here until my supervisor approves it. When my supervisor approves it, one of the ways I know that he or she has approved it is this will disappear, and then a color block will appear down here that is green for the time that I requested. So these color blocks right here are blue for the time I worked. So if and when my supervisor approves my time off request, it will show similarly here, but it will be green. Okay. So that is the basic overview of the My Calendar, how to navigate it, and how to submit time off requests. Now what I would like to show you are the different widgets and how to use those. So the first widget is the My Leave Request widget. Now I know this is going to be confusing for you guys, but something very important that you need to remember is the My Leave Request widget is for FMLA requests only. That's Family Medical Leave Act requests only. So if you have an FML request, you will have to submit it here in the My Leave Request widget. Okay, if it's just a regular time off request, you're just using regular annual leave, you will complete that action just how I just showed you in the My Calendar. Now, in the My Leave Request widget, if you currently have an FML case that is currently open on or before October 31st, it will already be preloaded into the Kronos Timekeeper system. So if you have a request starting on November 1st or after, you will have to submit it through this widget. But if it was already open as of October 31st, you will not have to submit it. It will already be pre-recorded here. So down here, you can see the different options we have. We can view the My Leave cases. We can request a new leave case, which is how we would request a new FML case. We can also cancel it or request additional leave time for an already open case. So if we click on Request New Leave Case, we would just have to fill out this information here and then click Save. And as you can already see, Henry Adams already has one submitted right here. The approval status is pending, so until it is approved, he will not be able to submit FML leave in this widget. Okay. Now, if you do have an FML case that you need to submit, a request that you need to submit, we do highly recommend that you first call the FML POC here in the HR office, just so you can make sure that you have all your paperwork together, so you can make sure that you can invoke your FML and all those sorts of things. And if you have any confusion on how to submit an FML request via the My Leave Request widget, the HR office will be able to help you and walk you through how to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of this widget. Before I do, I just want you guys to notice that the My Workspace area is still going to be open. So this is always going to be open. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of the My Leave Request widget. The next thing I'm going to show you is the My Inbox widget. So if you go into the My Inbox widget, we have two tabs here, one for tasks and one for messages. As employees, you will be getting tasks. That's more for supervisors. But if you click on the messages here, you will get messages regarding your time off requests and seeing if they have been approved or denied or what have you. So if you can see here, Fred Fryman is Henry Adams' supervisor. And as you can see, he's got a message that Fred Fryman has refused his time off request. So as you can see, you can get messages here about your time off requests or pretty much anything else that happens in the system. But that's another way you can see if your time off request has been approved or not, by seeing these messages. Now, please note that the My Inbox widget is not tied to your Gmail account at all. So if you get a message in the My Inbox widget, it's not also going to show up in your email and your Gmail account. Okay, it's just internally in the system only. Okay. So I'll get out of the My Inbox widget. The next one I'm going to go to is the My Reports widget. And here I can see different reports about my time card and my time and time off requests and those sorts of things. Another thing I can see is accrual balances and projections. So earlier when I showed you how to project leave through the time off request window, you can also look at your accrual balances and projections through the My Reports widget. So going back to that example of taking time off for Christmas, I can click on the My Accrual Balances and Projections and enter a date and then click on View Report, and it will show me what my balances are as of December 23rd, 2016. Now I'm just going to return. The other thing I can see is my schedule or time details. And I'll just show you a time details report real quick for the current pay period and view the report. So basically, Henry Adams doesn't really have anything in his time card right now, but if he did, you could see when he punched in, when he punched out, and different balances here. So it's basically just another way to see your time card, but in a report format. And then your schedule will just show you your schedule for the current pay period. So this is what Henry Adams is supposed to work for this pay period. And of course you can choose a different period of time, previous pay period. I can choose next scheduled period. I can also do a specific date or range of dates if I want to. So you can pull reports for pretty much any time period. So I'm going to get out of the My Reports widget. Next, I want to go to the My Audits widget, and this is a really great tool for you guys because it's going to show you what has been happening in your time card. So right now, Henry doesn't have anything for his current pay period, but if we go to a previous pay period, so you can see in the previous pay period, a lot of things have happened in his time card. So we can see that a punch was added for him, and we can see that comp time was added for him, and we can see who accomplished it. So F. Fryman, that's Fred Fryman, again, that's Henry Adams' supervisor. He completed that. So you can see different things in here, what has been changed on your time card and who changed it and when. Okay. So I can also filter this by my comments, if my supervisor left any comments, which it doesn't look like he did. Can also look at corrections, which it doesn't appear there are any. I can also filter the type of audits that I want to look at. So I can look at just punches if that's what I want to look at. Or I can look at approvals, or I can look at a bunch of different things. So this is a really great tool to show you guys what's been going on in your time card and who did it and when and why. And then the final widget is the Change My Password widget. It's pretty straightforward. If you want to change your password, you just enter your old one and the new one and then verify the new one. You can also change your security questions here. So when you first log into the live URL, you will be asked to provide security questions and the answers to those questions, so that if and when you have to click on the Forgot Your Password link, those questions will appear for you and you can answer them and change your password. So pretty straightforward. Okay, so that concludes our training session, just the general overview of the Kronos Timekeeper employee site. So we went over navigation of the site. We went over how to submit a time off request. We also went over how to navigate the My Calendar window, and we went over the different widgets that are available and how to use them. So please take a look at the other recorded training sessions for how to record your time, because that is going to be a big part of what you're going to be doing in this system. They are separated by the different types of employees. So be sure to check that out. And if you have any questions, please submit them to the HR inbox, which is cdps_HR@state.co.us, and we will be very happy to answer them for you. Thank you very much.